the dreams of peace hidden by the sound of the bullets. Was the Great War unavoidable? Industrial capitalism encouraged people or nations they need to have more and more resources from the colonies. This led to rivalry among European nations, which eventually opened the space for war. The Great War was unavoidable due to the economic system of the 20th century, which was industrial capitalism. By 1913, European nations were dividing and invading all African territory in order of getting more and more resources for improving their capital and industrialization. In this order of ideas, the countries with more colonies were the ones with more power, because colonies brought raw materials that were a direct source of capital. United Kingdom had 32% of Africa's territory and France possessed 36% of the mentioned continent. Meanwhile, Germany had just 8% of the territory. From this statistic, we can infer the following. Great Britain and France were the countries with more colonies in Africa, thanks that they had more capital for industrialization and therefore they were the most powerful countries at the beginning of the 20th century. Germany was really upset because he wanted capital due to the fact that he was aware that with more capital, more power the country will have. So, France and UK were not going to give away the colonies, and Germany won't say no to the idea of having more resources for industrialization. Thanks that European nations were so radical with their position and interests, there was no other option than going to war. As we just established, a main character of the war was Germany. For this reason, it should be noted the purposes of their leaders. German Kaiser Wilhelm II in 1813 stated the following. His responsibility of looking after the people and the nation was conferred by God, and his duty was to increase the national heritage as it was established in the Bible, and whoever interfered in his task it must be crushed. For this argument we are going to take into account the following variables. The first one is the way in which the leaders were committed with their purposes, and the second one is the will of power established by each. Let's suppose that I am the Kaiser, the German Kaiser at the beginning of the 20th century. I saw that my participation at the Scramble for Africa was really few for my demand. Actually, it was even nil, so I started wondering what I'm gonna do. Right after that moment is where both variables took place. I must start making action because I must start seeing UK and France getting richer, leaving me desire. I will obtain my demands no matter how of future consequences for my life. The only thing I care of is being loyal with my nation and to my engagement with God. In that order of ideas, things that Britain and France were not supporting me for achieving my task, I treat them as my enemies and give them the freedom enemies to receive, and that treatment is no other than war. At the beginning of 2013, we saw that the United States of America wanted to intervene militarily in Syria due to the fact that Syria was using chemical weapons and this affected United States security. These actions were immediately stopped and criticized by the United Nations because they were against the UN principles, which are the following. Maintaining peace and security, and to that end take measurements for the prevention and removal of threats to peace and for the suppression of acts of aggression or other breaches of peace. So as the United States is involved in the UN, it must follow what these organizations state. For developing our argument, we are going to make an analysis between the situation just mentioned and what was happening at the beginning of the 20th century. In both cases, the United States, Germany, France, and UK had in mind taking military actions against the nations they considered their rival. The main difference relies on the fact that in the early 90s, no one said no to those actions, while nowadays there are international organizations such as the UN that have the power of denying their military attempts and promoting peaceful solutions among nations. In other words, thanks to the lack of international organizations such as the UN at the beginning of the 20th century, the war was still a solution for issues between countries. For ending our project, I'm going to suppose I'm the Kaiser of Germany in 1913, Wilhelm II. Britain and France did not give me the chance for gaining power, but I must do something because I have a commitment with God and with the German society. And thanks that there is no one suggesting me a peaceful alternative, the only solution I contemplate is the war.
No hell below us, above us only sky.